Okay, I'm on my lake cabin here and I want to print it, and I'm on page 215 of our textbook here. And I'm going to go to File. So he shows you how to print based on having a paper printer, but I'm going to show how you can print from a PDF from that. And then I'm also going to try the export to PDF command, which I see he covers on page 216. And I'll see if I can get the same results off of both of them. So if I go to File, and then I get to print. Now I could obviously print it out on paper, but I've got a multitude of options on mine that print to PDFs. So I've got the Adobe PDF driver, I've got the Bluebeam PDF driver, and I've got the Microsoft Print to PDF driver. Now, if you're doing this at home, you might not have the Adobe PDF driver and the Bluebeam PDF driver that we have in the classroom. So I'm going to try the Microsoft Print to PDF because I think that comes along with every Microsoft computer. And then he's got to check to be visible portion of current window because I'm looking at his figure 2-6-1. And then what we need to do is go ahead and click on Setup. And we make sure it matches his things. So default letter size, which is what he wants, centered, which is what he wants, fit to page, which I normally don't like to do because it wouldn't be not to scale, but in this case, we're going to do it just so it fits it on page. We make sure this is on landscaping, this box is on that, those are on the defaults, everything else looks okay, and then I hit okay there. And then I can preview it to take a look and see what it looks like. That looks pretty cute to me. So I'm going to hit print. And now it'll ask me, and then I hit OK, and it'll ask me to save it somewhere. No, I'm just going to save this one to my desktop. And I'm going to call this one Lake Cabin MS Print to PDF. And I'm going to hit save. And that's going to be on my desktop. Let me see if I can find it here. And it's on my other monitor. So that looks pretty good. So I'm going to minimize that. Now we're going to go back into Revit. We're going to print it in the export way that he talks about in the book. And I have to be honest with you, I always had all these printer drivers installed. I never really tried to export to PDF. So let's go ahead and try that. Maybe we can get the same result either way. So now we go to File, Export PDF. So we go up to File, Export, PDF. So this must be its built-in printer driver. Now it's got a different user interface here. So we're going to do visible portion of current window, which is what he wanted us to do. Lake Cabin. It asks you to tell where it's going to go now. So I'm going to tell it I want it to go into my desktop. So it just comes in with the other one. And I'm going to call this Lake Cabin PDF Export. Now, since I'm not familiar with this user interface, I got to do the same thing here. He doesn't really go into great detail on this. He doesn't show this interface at all in the book, so maybe this video is not a bad idea. So this is fit to page, paper as center, vector processing, all this other is the same. So it's just like the same printer thing, except it. So the reason I think the students ended up with these wacky sheet sizes was because this needed to be changed to letter, and he didn't tell them to do that. And it needs to be an ANSI A. And then where does it tell us? Oh, here it does landscape versus portrait. So those of you that gave me these wacky sheet sizes, and I think I took like 1/10 of a point off, I see how you did it now. So that point's coming back onto you. I'm not going to take any points off for printing it on a wacky page size because he didn't explain how to print using that export thing in the book. So now I'm going to hit export. And I don't want to do this for a future session because I'll probably never be doing it again. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it's making the PDF. Now let's open up my desktop, and we'll compare them side to side. So here's the Microsoft print, and there's the Lake Cabin export print. They look exactly the same to me. They're on the same size of paper. But the book has failed in a little way because I asked for a PDF. I assumed everybody had PDF drivers, but then I forgot that he actually shows you how to do a PDF, but then he doesn't show you how to set it up so that it prints the way he wanted you to print. So that's a problem that I will fix on my Pete's notes, and I will take care if I took that 1/10 of a point off on your grade. Okay, thanks for watching this wonderful video. Stop recording.